Hello there, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Your headlines in the southeast this Monday evening. More than 60,000 families across Kent and Sussex are left without running water as the big thaw follows the big freeze.
So I called Southern Water this morning and I was reassured that I was on the priority list on account of having a small child, and they told me that water would be delivered to vulnerable residents. I've had no contact from them since.
The small boats on the Channel. The High Court rules the government can deport asylum seekers to Rwanda.
Also tonight, seeing is believing and understanding, the glasses that give a new look on life for people like Love Island's Tasha.
For me especially, this would have massively changed my life, and this world needs this. The world needs it.
And the Santa Express and hundreds of excited children heading on a very special journey. Good evening. Thousands of homes across Kent and Sussex are without water tonight after problems with a burst water main and supply pipes.
As many as 50,000 homes across Thanet are without water after a pipe burst near Rumfield Reservoir. In Kent and Sussex, 15,000 homes are without water in Tunbridge Wells, East Grinstead and Balcombe.
Well, the rapid rise in temperatures after the prolonged cold spell are to blame. For families in the run-up to Christmas, it's proving a very difficult time. Well, John Ryle joins us from a water bottle station in Thanet for us this evening. John, has it been busy there?
Yeah, it certainly has. As you say, some 15,000 homes in Thanet still without water supply tonight, and that's been the case since about 3 o'clock this morning. This is Dane Court School in Broadstairs, which is being used as one of a number of bottled water supply stations. This has been extremely busy right through the afternoon. The busiest it's been so far right at the moment, with long queues of traffic building up at the entrance here. Now we're told that the cause of this problem, or the main cause anyway, is a burst main close to the Rumfields Reservoir, not far from here. That happened about 3 o'clock this morning. Southern Water are saying they don't want to talk about time frames for fixing this. We get the impression that it's certainly going to run through to tonight, probably well into tomorrow, quite possibly beyond that. Tonight, tankers are being brought in, Southern Water says, to pump water direct into the supply system. That's something that's not started yet. That will happen tonight. There's been a lot of criticism from customers of Southern Water's communications around this, not least from a mother with a young child I spoke to a little while ago, not far from here.
So I called Southern Water this morning and I was reassured that I was on the priority list on account of having a small child, and they told me that water would be delivered to vulnerable residents. I've had no contact from them since. I have sent them messages on Facebook and I've had no response as to when any water will be delivered.
And John, the problem's not restricted to Thanet either.
No, it's not to Thanet and not to Southern Water. South East Water also has serious supply problems that's affecting some 15,000 homes again, this time in Tunbridge Wells, East Grinstead, Crowborough, other areas around that region. And South East Water is blaming what it describes as a year of weather extremes.
We've never seen issues like this before. It's the most difficult operational period I've ever seen. And this year really has been incredibly challenging. You know, we had the long hot summer where we saw record demands. We then went into a heat wave. We then went into temporary use bans or hosepipe restrictions as it was dry for so long. We've gone straight from that period into flooding across our area, then into the freeze thaw, and now into what we're seeing today. So I think really it's been an extraordinary set of circumstances this year that have tested our infrastructure beyond any of the parameters it's designed to withstand, really.
So snow and sub-zero temperatures followed now by a rapid thaw being blamed for most of these problems, and a challenging time ahead now for water companies and customers alike.
OK, John, for now, thank you. In other news, a woman from Kent has been named as the second person to die in the crash at a concert venue in Brixton in South London. She's been named locally as Gabby Hutchinson from Gravesend. Her family have spent the last 4 days at her bedside at hospital in London.
An 11-year-old boy who was seriously injured in a collision in Hoo in East Sussex has died. Police were called to the B2095 on Thursday afternoon following a collision between a car and a flatbed van. The boy was airlifted to hospital but died from his injuries on Saturday.
A fraudster from Sheerness who helped trick people into paying for cars that didn't exist has had his own Porsche seized. He acquired more than £1.3 million through the scam, in which people were duped into paying fake online traders. His car was seized under the Proceeds of Crime Act and is due to be sold at auction.
Bikes from Brighton and Hove's bike share scheme have started to be removed. Operations are being paused at the end of this month, with a new scheme launched in the spring with provider Beryl. The council says after 5 years on the street, the current fleet of bikes are starting to look a bit worn and have a few technical issues. Now, politicians in Kent and Sussex say they hope that today's decision by the High Court that migrants crossing in small boats can be deported to Rwanda will decrease the number arriving on the south coast.
But migrant charities say the plan is unfair, with asylum seekers put at risk of being removed without access to legal advice.
Well, let's cross to Lisa McNally in Westminster now. The government are pleased with today's High Court decision, Lisa?
You could certainly say that, Stacey. Yes, after all, this is the moment they've been waiting for over 6 months, ever since that first deportation flight to Rwanda was grounded back in June. And after all that political push and pull, this morning senior judges confirmed that the policy of deportation is legal as a whole. On the face of it then, this is a big win for the government, a government that has always maintained that this policy will help deter people from undertaking those dangerous channel crossings, which all too often end in tragedy. And it was a move the Home Secretary welcomed when she got to her feet in Parliament today, defending the moral stance of those who want to see a cap on immigration. Let's have a listen to what she had to say.
It is not legitimate to leave a safe country like France to seek asylum in the United Kingdom. And we have to break the business model of the people smuggling gangs. Their trade in human cargo is evil and lethal, as we were tragically reminded very recently.
Now, this ruling gives the go-ahead in principle for any deportation flights to resume in the future. But that key phrase is in principle, because in practice, the question of who can legally be put on those flights remains an open question. Judges said the Home Office needs to consider all personal circumstances. And in the case of the 8 people who were due to be flown out on that very first flight 6 months ago, that was not done. So the court has also said their individual cases will have to be reconsidered. And charities say that means a lot of legal action ahead to make sure that people's rights aren't being eroded.
Asylum Aid remains concerned that the process does not allow individuals to properly make their case and risks individuals not being able to make their case before being removed. The fact that individual decisions have been deemed to be unlawful, we think, shows that the risk remains that individuals may not be able to make their case properly, and if they can't, then decisions that were wrong may not be overturned.
So you can be sure this is not the beginning of the end for the Rwanda row. But the Home Secretary once said it was her dream to see these flights take off before Christmas. Time has run out for that particular wish, but even looking ahead to the new year, how likely is this to happen and when? Well, Suella Braverman will still have a lot of legal hurdles to jump over before her dream could become a reality.
Lisa McNally, thank you very much for that update. In other news tonight, 3 new recruits have arrived at the dog section at Kent Police. Belle and Giggy, both Cocker Spaniels, and Springer Spaniel Dixon are now trained forensic recovery dogs. After completing an 8-week course, they join the team of 3 other dogs and will work closely with crime and scene investigators to help search and locate forensic evidence.
A teenager from Lewis has won a prize in the RSPCA Young Photographer competition. 16-year-old Robin Dennison Pender captured this image called A Short Rest. The beautiful wheatear had just arrived from her channel crossing. Very nice. Now, half of people with long-term medical conditions are making mistakes with their medication.
One pharmacist from Brighton is warning of the dangers of not following medical instructions, but as Chloe Oliver has been finding out, there is help available.
Medications can be a minefield, and the consequences of getting it wrong can be catastrophic. Around 7% of hospital admissions are due to adverse drug reactions, something this pharmacist in Brighton says can be easily avoided.
People have kind of underlying issues and conditions, especially chronic conditions that can get worse if you don't take your medication at the right time. Especially if you're working closely with your doctor to try and treat the condition. If you're not taking it correctly, your doctor might not be aware if it's the medicine working and not working. And your condition obviously can worsen.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Rogers. How are you?
But there is help out there for anyone with long-term health conditions unsure about how to take their medications. It's called the New Medicine Service, but according to the National Pharmacy Association, only half of adults in England know about it. Rita Rogers, who has high blood pressure, is here today getting advice on her medicine.
After I started taking medication, she rang me to see if I'd had any after effects, see how it was going on. And I only live just up the road anyway. You know somebody's looking after you, so it's somebody there in the background rather than having to wait to go to the GP. It's very convenient having just a local pharmacy, yeah.
For free, patients can have 3 appointments with a pharmacist over a month to talk about their medication and discuss any problems. Some of the main misconceptions that people living with asthma may find are the types of inhaler that they use. The preventer is used to manage people's everyday symptoms, but the reliever inhaler here is used as and when those symptoms arise.
And it's normally for long-term conditions such as, hypertension or asthma. A patient who, because of her culture, hypertension, when you take hypertensive medication, they assume that, you're sort of stuck with it, but that's not what it is. The medication is there to protect you and to stop the condition from progressing.
Half of people with long-term conditions currently don't take their medicines as prescribed. The message is, if you're unsure, speak to a pharmacist. Chloe Oliver, ITV News.
Now you're watching ITV News Meridian. Still to come on tonight's programme, the campaign to stop dogs having their ears clipped in the name of fashion.
And the glasses that, thanks to technology, are helping people with disabilities.
We can find more on all of our stories, of course, today on our website. Details on the screen. itv.com/meridian is the address. You can call us. There's the number, 0808 1010 095. And as ever, you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram. Next tonight, animal welfare campaigners are calling on the government to tighten laws banning dogs with cropped ears.
It's an illegal procedure designed to make dogs look more intimidating, but it can cause permanent damage. But the latest figures show it's on the rise, with more than 21 cases reported in our region so far this year. Here's Catherine Walker.
What are you saying?
These cuddles with his new family are a stark contrast to the sad beginning of this dog's life. Trevor's ears were mutilated when he was just 15 weeks old as part of a fashion trend known as ear cropping. It's a cosmetic procedure, illegal in this country, that can leave lifelong damage.
With Trevor, he has quite a lot of ear infections. He doesn't like people touching his ears. He doesn't like anything metal near his ears. Dog is born with ears, and the ears are there for a reason. It's just a stupid fad and a stupid trend, and it should be stopped.
New research shows that this type of animal cruelty is on the rise. So far this year, there's been 21 cases of illegal ear cropping reported in our region. Across England and Wales, there's been more than 330 cases, a 47% increase from 2020.
Because it's illegal, these practices are being done, basically in their back garden, and the ears are just being cut. It's completely barbaric. That's done without any anaesthetic, any pain relief, and it's something that, personally I've seen a rise in. I've dealt with ear cropping jobs, and it's really upsetting for me and my colleagues to see these dogs being treated in this way.
Concerned about the growing popularity of cropped ears, animal welfare campaigners want the government to fast-track new rules to close loopholes in the law.
So at the moment it's illegal for dogs to have their ears cropped in this country, but it's not illegal for dogs to have their ears cropped outside of the UK, and it's not illegal for them to be imported. So unfortunately it creates a smokescreen for those people that are actually acting illegally and carrying out the procedure in this country, but it also allows people to buy pups or dogs from outside of the UK and bring them in with cropped ears.
In a statement, the government said the new animal welfare bill is making its way through Parliament. But until it's passed, campaigners worry that innocent dogs like Trevor will continue to suffer in the name of fashion. Catherine Walker, ITV News.
And the ITV Evening News continues with the national and international news at 6:30 with more details. Here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up in the programme, a week of strikes for Christmas. Ambulance staff, nurses, rail and postal workers all set to walk out in the coming days. Also, the High Court rules the government's plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda is legal. I put my foot in it. Jeremy Clarkson responds to the thousands of complaints about his comments on Meghan Markle. And Argentina on top of the world. The party continues after their remarkable victory. Well, do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
A revolution in technology is transforming the lives of people living with disabilities, opening up opportunities that were previously out of reach.
Well, those with a registered disability are still 3 times more likely to struggle to find stable employment, but it's hoped new technology could actually level the playing field for everyone. Nick Smith has been finding out more.
Tasha Guri made headlines over the summer as Love Island's first ever contestant with a sensory disability.
I have got a superpower, I like to call it. So I was born completely deaf, and then at the age of 5 I got the cochlear implant, and it's something very special and personal to me.
She may now have left the villa behind, but Tasha's now trialling technology which could be a game changer for those with hearing problems. Teaming up with the creator of these glasses, which can subtitle conversations and even things like films on a cinema screen.
As I'm speaking to you, what I'm saying will be coming up in front of your very eyes in real time with absolute clarity.
This is life-changing, and it's very rare for me to say that technology can be life-changing, but this is life-changing for many people out there, and for me especially, this would have massively changed my life, and this world needs this. The world needs it, and technology is evolving every single day, and it goes to show how beautiful technology can be to help people, to give people that confidence.
This is just one example of tech's ability to enhance everyday life for those living with disabilities. Mark Parrin is a disability campaigner based in Tonbridge in Kent. He says technology developed to improve the lives of those living with disabilities have wider benefits for others too.
Technology's changed the world immensely, particularly for people with disabilities. I mean, some of the examples that have been around for quite a time since I've been in the disability field has been screen readers. There's also voice recognition software that's around, which we use in every day now, when we're commanding our television. All those things were designed for people with disabilities.
Development of assistive technology is now serious business for some of the major tech firms. At Google's UK Research Centre, they're trialling devices which can help those with mobility or sensory issues to enjoy new experiences or just complete tasks which many take for granted. Yvonne Johnson has motor neurone disease, which has affected her speech. She's been trialling an app called Project Relate, which detects her vocal patterns and transcribes conversations onto her phone screen so she can be easily understood.
Having a problem with your speech, your confidence goes down, but this gives you confidence and it helps you to feel part of society as well, because when your speech is affected, you kind of feel slightly isolated. You get frustrated when the person doesn't understand you, but with this, people can understand you.
Using this app has meant Yvonne could continue in her job interacting with the public. And as we scratch the surface of how tech can enhance our lives, For those with disabilities, it has the power to be truly life-changing. Nick Smith, ITV News.
Oh, incredible, aren't they? Brilliant ideas.
Now let's get some sports. Sarah joins us in the studio.
Right, back to Brighton now, where some of the Albion's best-loved players have been visiting children on some of Sussex's hospital's children's wards. It's a traditional visit that brings some Christmas cheer at a difficult time.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Raising spirits and smiles among the young patients on children's wards, Brighton's first team players helped spread some Christmas cheer. Adam Lallana, Billy Gilmore, Jason Steele and Glenn Murray, alongside club mascot Gully, visited the Royal Alexandra Children's Hospital in Brighton.
It's really nice to see the smiles on the kids' faces, and I think for us it puts life into perspective a little bit. Some people are in difficult situations at Christmas time, and to be able to come in and, like you say, make them smile and give them a present, just lift their mood a little bit, is it's extra special.
Yeah, you can't put yourself in their shoes until it kind of happens to probably someone close to you or one of your own. But at least we can, come down here, speak to them and. Like I said, try and put a smile on their face, give the kids a couple of gifts, and speak to the parents. That's the least we can do as a football club, I think.
Meanwhile, Lewis Dunk, Pascal Gross, Andrew Crofts and Jack Stern visited Worthing Hospital, with Gully on hand too.
A couple of 2-year-olds, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, kids of all ages, and in the cancer unit as well, going through chemo, just to see kind of how strong they are. The kids, not just the kids, but the parents that are probably here around the clock. It must be so difficult, especially at this time of year. So it's, as I said, the least we can do.
The Albion's next game is on Wednesday night, a Carabao Cup clash with Charlton, whilst their next league game is the Boxing Day fixture along the coast at Southampton. These players hoping they'll raise smiles on both of those occasions too. Lovely, I love seeing those visits. I think the players enjoy it as much as the children, don't they?
Really special for everyone involved, isn't it? Thanks, Sarah. And we're staying with the Christmas theme because Father Christmas has swapped his sleigh for a train as staff and passengers raise money for charity on board a festive southeastern Santa Express.
Yes, money from tickets on the service, which departed from Maidstone East Station in suitably snowy conditions, will go to a charity helping homeless young people. Sarah Saunders was on board.
Father Christmas gave the reindeer a day off training today, and instead he let the train take the strain. Santa joined some special passengers on a southeastern Santa Express service to the north. Well, it was to Strudenbach, actually. St Nick, elves and the Grinch were soon spreading festive cheer and handing out presents.
What would you like for Christmas? What's on your list?
Ambulance. Oh, you love this?
Are you excited about Christmas?
And you're going to give us a present.
Whenever I take him on a train, he loves it, so it kind of like combines the two together. So it's a no-brainer. Yeah, train.
All the money raised from the Santa Express will go to charity. In an exclusive interview, the big guy told me all about it.
Railway Children, it's a well-established charity that looks after children who find themselves homeless on the streets. Yeah, nobody's getting paid for this. It's all because, people giving up their time and having a nice time doing something good.
Hello, this is Alvin Simmons. I normally do car parking issues for South Eastern. I'll gladly give my time up today because it's a worthy cause.
If there are any problems with the sleigh, do you think maybe a train might work?
Yes, if it could fly, most definitely.
Just not too late on Christmas Eve when there is Network Rail industrial action. Sarah Saunders, ITV News.
Fantastic to see them all getting into the Christmas spirit.
I love the snow as well.
Superb. Talking about snow, let's talk about the weather. Pip is here in the studio. What a difference a weekend makes. It's kind of a bit ridiculous where the temperatures have gone.
It's been really crazy. Of course, last week was so bitterly cold. In fact, it gave us our 5th coldest start to December since 1878. But as you say, what a difference a weekend has made. The temperatures have rocketed today. Let's take a look at how the temperatures have evolved over the last few days. So we've probably got peak coldness, I'd say, on Saturday morning. Minus 9.1 degrees Celsius recorded at East Malling. But fast forward to yesterday and the temperatures through the day really started to recover. And of course today we've seen highs close to around 13 Celsius. It's all because of a change in wind direction. So we had those cold northerly winds dragging down Arctic air. Now we've got southwesterly winds and they're bringing in relatively mild Atlantic air. So a big change.
Now, I don't actually want to ask this, but I think I know what you're going to say. It's not going to be White Christmas, is it?
Well, yes and no. So what is a white Christmas? For the UK, it is one snowflake falling anywhere in the UK.
Is it?
Yeah, and that actually happens relatively often. Of course, further north it is generally cold. It happens about 80% of Christmases. What we think of when we think of a white Christmas is, of course, that blanket of snow. That's right. That's far rarer. That happens around, well, it's happened 4 times in the last 50 years. Most recently 2009 and 2010. So what are things looking like for this Christmas? Well, here we go. We'll have a bit of a jostle between that cold air trying to make some headway from the north again, milder air still feeding up from the southwest. So I strongly suspect that down here we won't have that blanket of snow, but perhaps a snowflake could fall a little further north. We'll see.
Doesn't really count, does it?
Outside chance snow?
I don't think so. If I was going to bet on it today, I'd say no, but I'm not a betting woman.
I'm gutted. It's a full forecast. Here's Pip.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
So it has certainly been a pretty unsettled picture out there today, but much milder than we've been used to over the last week or so. And it really does set the tone for the rest of this week. So staying fairly changeable, further showers or longer spells of rain, breezy at times, but still on the mild side. And this is why low pressure never too far away over the coming days. Fronts moving in off the Atlantic, bringing that unsettled weather, but also introducing that milder air as well. And certainly that's very much the case out there this evening and tonight. So staying largely cloudy, further rain feeding our way, and the Met Office still have a yellow warning for heavy rain in force until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Breezy as well, and of course with the cloudy skies, the rain and the breeze, it will be an exceptionally mild night. Temperatures for many of us staying up in double figures. Tomorrow morning then, another rather cloudy and wet start, but conditions improving quite markedly into the afternoon. The rain moves away eastwards, drier and brighter conditions follow on behind, and with easing winds and the best of the sunshine, feeling really rather pleasant compared to last week. Highs of perhaps 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. These are the times of high water for tomorrow then. For Chatham there, 9:29 in the morning, 8 minutes past 10 in the evening. So I think tomorrow, once that early rain clears, arguably it'll be the best part of the week, but thereafter increasingly changeable once again. Showers or longer spells of rain, southwesterly winds keeping it on the mild side though. Bye-bye.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
And in just a moment, the ITV Evening News. That's with Mary Nightingale this evening.
That is it, though, from us for the time being. I'm back with your late update just after 10:30 this evening. Plenty more, of course, throughout the evening online. But for now, from the team, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Good night.